Hi, my name's Roger Osborne. First of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you for all of your support. Based on your comments, I've created this video where I'm doing a live commentary of fishing 3 different beaches over 3 consecutive nights in July. With each beach, I check it out in the morning at low tide and find the best spot to fish, and then I go back in the evening and start fishing. In each session, I only take beachworms with me to the beach, and that's what I start fishing with. And then I progress to use other baits, which I'll talk more about later in the video. I hope it's not a shark. I'm using 2 different rigs. The first one is for using beachworms for bait and is a paternoster rig with 2 droppers, all made on 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. My second rig is for larger fish like mulloway, and it has a single dropper and a running leader. Very soon I'm bringing out a new video with all of the fishing rigs that I use off the beach and why, so make sure you look out for that video. So here we go with beach number 1. Yesterday I had a look at this beach on a lower tide and I could see that there was some really good features here. Just behind me there is a trough that runs right along the edge. Some quite deep water close to the shore, and that trough runs all the way from this headland, which is behind me, right along the edge and then back out to sea. It looks like a really good spot potentially to catch a dewey just on dark, and because there's a sandbar not far out from the shore as well, there's some nice bit of white water that provides cover for small fish. So I'm going to use some worms for bait and fish for whiting, and I caught a salmon this morning while we were worming. And I'm going to put the whole head of that salmon on just before dark and toss it out here on a much heavier line to see if I can pick up a dewey. So we'll chat about that soon once I get fishing. I've been fishing here for about 20 minutes and I've had 3 casts and caught 3 salmon, so it's salmon city. It seems like every time I throw my line in the water I get a salmon, and I'm just about to have another cast. I'm just using a double hook rig with worms, and I've got a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader, and my main line is 6 kilos. So I'm just going to use my trusty side cast reel. I'd like to catch a whiting really, or a couple of whiting. Let's see if I get another salmon in 2 minutes. I'm going to cut up a bit of this salmon which I caught earlier. It's a little bit big for what I want to do. It'd be good if I caught some that was smaller, but all I'm going to do, I just want to use its head really. So I'm going to cut on an angle. I've exposed a lot of the blood and yummy stuff. I can use that for something else. Come with me and we'll go down and put it on my rod. All I'm going to do, this is really basic, is I'm going to just put this through the roof of his mouth. I'm just going to put that on like that. That's all I'm going to do. And I have my my trusty Pen 950, which has got 15 kilo line on it. This is a fairly heavy bait, so it's hard to cast big baits long distances, although in this case we don't have to cast out very far because the deep water is really close to the shore, so I'm just hoping that something's going to really like this fresh offering. This is that salmon head that I just threw out. It's just taking line at the moment. I hope it's not a shark. Anyway, we'll see. At the moment it doesn't want to stop. hesitant to tighten the drag because it's just not wanting to stop, whatever it is. I need to try and slow it down a bit. Oh my gosh. Try to put a bit of pressure on it then, but it's too early. I think this could be a little bit of a battle here. It could be a little while before I find out what this is. It's fun though. Unfortunately, that really big fish, I didn't land it. It was so powerful, but I couldn't stop it. It just kept heading towards New Zealand. It definitely wasn't a mulloway. It was undoubtedly a really big shark. At beach number 1, I caught 9 salmon. It was a lot of fun, but I don't normally keep salmon. I usually just use them for bait or let most of them go. However, I cooked some in my recent video on beer batter, and it was so delicious. I want to catch some more salmon. So make sure you have a look at my beer batter video, which is coming up soon. I actually only fished for 1 hour at this beach, but it was non-stop action for 1 hour, so that was amazing. Okay, let's go to beach number 2. This afternoon we're at beach number 2 in our live commentary on reading a beach. We were here this morning. I actually caught some beach worms here this morning at low tide, so we're able to have a good look at the features. This beach is different to the beach we fished yesterday afternoon, which was close to a headland. We're nowhere near a headland just here, so we've just picked a deep gutter in the middle of the beach. And behind me there's actually a gutter which just goes straight out to sea. There isn't a trough along the edge, which is what we had last night. So it should be interesting to see what we catch. So let's go. As I mentioned, I read this beach this morning and there was a very defined gutter at low tide. When I checked online, the swell report said 1/2 metre of swell. But when I've got down here tonight, I'm finding the set waves are up to 2 metres. They're quite big and there's a lot of water moving around. I would have preferred that there be a little bit less swell, but I've done my research, I'm here, I'm ready to go. From a reading the beach point of view, this is actually not difficult at all because the beach I'm on has a lot of big sandbar areas with very few gutters, and there's just this one big hole in the middle of the beach. So all I'm doing in this spot is really I'm just throwing into this one deep hole that I've found in the middle of the beach. Because either side there's no features at all. So it's the only deep area. So I don't really have to go looking around, I'm just fishing in this one spot, which makes it simple from that point of view. But so far in my first 2 casts, I've got a salmon and a brim. And I've just thrown out a big slab of salmon to see if there's a dewy lurking around in that gutter. Because the sun is just setting now, so the next hour is a really good time. So I'm hoping to have more success. At beach number 2, the swell was a bit bigger than I was expecting, but it was still good for fishing. I only fished for about an hour and I caught 2 salmon and 1 brim. I filleted one of those salmon and threw out some salmon fillet and had a couple of hits on that, which felt like tailor. I didn't actually land any, but overall it was another really enjoyable fish. So heading on to beach number 3. It's 5 to 5 and high tide is at 5:57, so in about an hour. And this beach is a little bit different to last night's beach in as much as we're back near a headland again. So we're not far from a headland and there's a bit of a hole in a gutter only about 100 metres from the end of the beach. I'm fishing with beach worms and I'm also going to put some large salmon baits out also because it's a good time with a high tide right on dark. There's a few spits of rain and a bit of bad weather to the south, so we've just got to keep our eye on how things are going. And there's also a little bit of weed in the water. Not a lot, just a few clumps of weed here and there, that not too much that would stop you from fishing, but still looks pretty good. Even though the conditions on this beach weren't perfect, with some rain rolling in and also some clumps of weed in the water, it was still certainly fishable, and I managed to hook another monster like I did at beach number 1. I think I had a double hook up before and I lost my top hook because I had the line, I had to put it down because I had this huge fish on my other rod, so I had to leave the other one, and when I went back it had a salmon on it, but the top hook had been broken off, so I think it might have been a double hook up on salmon. Right, I'm going to go and chuck out again. While I lost the big one again, I did catch 3 species of fish, being salmon, whiting and tailor. I caught the tailor on some fresh salmon that I filleted up, which is awesome because they occur in abundance naturally and makes things easy just being able to use what I catch for bait. I mentioned earlier in the video that I was starting each fishing session with only beachworms. I like to do that because it keeps things simple, and then when I catch fish I actually fillet them or use small ones as live bait to catch larger fish. It's really time efficient, it means I don't have to spend hours getting other baits, and it's a good feeling being able to do that. Beach 3 was another great fish. Fish tally were whiting, salmon and tailor, and another huge creature of the deep. If there's anything else that you'd like to know about beach fishing, please let me know and put it in the comments. And if you found this video helpful today, give it a big thumbs up and share it with your fishing buddies. And remember to subscribe because I've got a lot more videos coming out. Thank you so much for watching. I've enjoyed making this video, I really have, it's been awesome. I look forward to seeing you soon.